All right, everyone, are you ready for this? The PS5 Pro is officially here, and you know what that means. Everyone's suddenly a PC versus console expert.
Oh yeah, the debates are heating up already.
Big time, but let's cut through the hype, yeah. Are these new consoles really worth your hard-earned cash?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
You got it. And that's what we're going to figure out in this deep dive. We're going to put Micro Center's configurator to the test and see if we can actually build a gaming PC that can go head-to-head with the PS5 Pro. The catch: we only have $700. Think it's possible.
It's ambitious, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sony's really got that whole mass production thing working in their favor.
No doubt. But that's what makes it interesting, right? We're on a mission to see if you can really unlock that PS5 Pro performance without needing, well, the PS5 Pro budget.
I like it. Leveling the playing field.
Exactly. So let's break down exactly what this PS5 Pro is packing. First up, the star of the show, the GPU. It's that new AMD-based powerhouse. And from what we're hearing, it's rocking a 67% boost in compute units compared to the original PS5. That translates to roughly 60 CUs.
CCCUs, yeah, that's a serious jump in graphical horsepower.
No kidding. So we're talking serious firepower here. What about storage? Load times can make or break the gaming experience these days. And let me tell you, Sony did not skimp on this. The PS5 Pro is rocking a super fast 2TB Gen 4 NVMe SSD, double the storage of the original, and crazy fast.
Which is huge for those open world games everyone's crazy about these days. We're talking near instant load times.
Music to my ears. Nobody wants to wait around staring at loading screens, right? But here's where things get a little interesting. The CPU. Sony decided to stick with the Zen 2 architecture, similar to what you'd see in a Ryzen 7 3700X, but maybe a tad slower. Now, doesn't that seem a little, I don't know, dated?
Well, on the surface, maybe. But, and this is crucial, Sony's using unified RAM access in the PS5 Pro.
Unified RAM access. Okay, so in English, what does that even mean?
Basically, the CPU and GPU, they're both sharing that same super fast GDDR6 memory.
So instead of separate pools of memory, they're both tapping to the same high-speed source.
Gotcha. That's got to help, right?
Big time. It gives the CPU a nice performance boost that you normally wouldn't see. Sony's squeezing extra life out of that Zen 2 architecture by optimizing how it accesses data. Clever girl. So it's not always about having the newest, shiniest CPU on the block. It's about making the most of what you've got. But can our $700 PC build match that cleverness? Let's fire up the Micro Center configurator and find out, shall we? All right, so here we are staring at this configurator and, you know, it's a bit daunting. Trying to build a PC that can hold its own against the PS5 Pro for $700. It's like, I don't know, trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a challenge, for sure. Especially since we're working with a bunch of different manufacturers, each taking their piece of the pie. Sony's got that luxury, right? Big bulk deals.
It's true, they've got those economies of scale working in their favor. It's like they're playing chess and we're stuck with checkers. But luckily, we've got a secret weapon, Micro Center bundles, baby.
Those bundles are clutch.
Total game changers. They can save you some serious cash. Okay, enough chit-chat. Let's get this build going. For the CPU, we went with the Intel Core i5-12600KF. It's a powerhouse. And going with the CPU that doesn't have integrated graphics, that helps us stay under budget.
Smart move. No need for integrated graphics when you're going to have a dedicated graphics card anyway.
Exactly. Plus, get this CPU. It comes bundled with a Z790 motherboard and 16GB of DDR4 RAM. All for, you ready for this? $259.99.
That's highway robbery. You couldn't even get close to that if you bought each part separately.
That's the power of bundles, my friend. Okay, next up, storage. We couldn't quite swing that 2TB SSD like the PS5 Pro, but we snagged a 1TB Inland QN450 Gen 4 NVMe SSD for just $65.99.
Still a screaming fast drive.
Blazing fast. Load times are going to be a distant memory, my friend. And hey, you can always upgrade down the line if you need more space, right?
Exactly. That's the beauty of PC gaming. You're not stuck with what you start with.
Options, baby. Okay, moving on to the case. We kept it simple, budget-friendly. The Inland X1 for $49.99 does the job. Good airflow, which is key when you're packing this much power in a small space.
Yeah, got to keep things cool. And speaking of power, for the power supply, we got a solid 650W 80-plus bronze unit. And guess what? Another $49.99.
Are you seeing a theme here with these prices?
Micro Center loves that $49.99.
They do. It's going to provide all the juice our components need, plus a little headroom for upgrades in the future. Can't do that with a console, can you?
Nope, you're locked in.
And to keep that i5-12600KF from turning into a space heater, We went with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 EVO cooler, just 20 bucks. It's a classic for a reason. Quiet, efficient, keeps everything running cool as a cucumber.
Can't go wrong with that.
All right, now for the main event. After all that, we had about $255 left for the GPU. Now, if you've been living under a rock, you know GPU prices have been, well, let's just say interesting.
Yeah, getting that PS5 Pro level performance for $255, it's a tall order.
That's putting it lightly. Remember that RX 6800 we talked about earlier? That was so far out of our price range.
Yeah, had to get a little creative.
We spent a lot of time looking at benchmarks, comparing prices. It was a whole thing. But we found it. The NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition.
Ooh, nice. Solid card.
$249. It might not be the absolute top of the line, but for the price, the performance is amazing. Plus, we get access to NVIDIA's DLSS, which is a game changer. Speaking of which, what exactly is DLSS and why should we care?
Oh man, DLSS is like magic, AI-powered magic for your games. It basically uses AI to upscale the resolution so you get those amazing 4K visuals, but with the performance of a lower resolution.
Okay, so we're talking sharper image, smoother gameplay without breaking the bank.
You got it. And it's a big advantage over the PS5 Pro, which uses those older upscaling methods. They don't look as good, and sometimes they can even hurt performance.
Wow. And you know what else? The PS5 Pro. Doesn't even come with a stand. That's an extra 30 bucks you got to shell out.
Yeah, you got to factor that in.
Meanwhile, our super awesome PC build, just under $700, stand not included, of course. But the real question is, how does it actually perform in the real world?
That's what we really want to know.
To find out, we took it for a spin in Night City, Cyberpunk 2077. And for comparison, we looked at Digital Foundry's breakdown of the game running on the PS5. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, we gotta talk about resolution. There's native resolution and upscaled resolution, which is what consoles usually use to hit those higher resolutions. Native means it's actually running at that resolution. Upscaled means it's being stretched to fit. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's like looking at a high-resolution picture versus one that's been blown up to fit a bigger frame. You know, you might lose some detail.
Exactly. So with ray tracing off, our PC build was cruising. I'm talking a smooth 75 to 79 frames per second at 1440p native resolution. That's already beating the PS5.
Nice.
But it gets better. Even with ray tracing cranked up, thanks to DLSS, we were still above 60 FPS at 4K resolution. The PS5, on the other hand, stuck at 1440p 30 frames per second.
Wow, that DLSS is the real deal. Near 4K image quality and smoother than the PS5 Pro can do at native resolution. That's a game changer.
It's the ultimate showdown. Our underdog PC build just took down the champ. Who would have thought you could get this kind of power for 700 bucks? So, there you have it. We built a PC that can go toe-to-toe with the PS5 Pro and even surpass it in some cases. But the question is, would you ditch the console and build a PC after this? What do you think?
That's the big question, right? I mean, we've proven it can be done. You can build a PC that's just as powerful as a PS5 Pro for the same price.
And I don't just mean just as powerful. We're talking blowing it out of the water in some of our tests.
Yeah, for sure. But, and this is important, raw power isn't everything, right?
So true. There's a lot to consider, like what kind of gamer are you? Are you all about tweaking, upgrading, and squeezing every ounce of performance out of your rig? Because that's where PC gaming really shines.
Totally. You're not stuck with a fixed setup. You can upgrade as you go. Remember that 3060 Ti we used? A couple years down the line, swap it out for some next-level GPU.
It's like having a car that you can constantly soup up. New graphics card, boom, fresh paint job, and a turbocharger. And then there's the versatility.
Oh, yeah. It's not just for games. It's your workhorse, too. Editing, design, whatever you need.
Exactly. I do all my video and photo editing on mine. It's my entertainment center and my office, all in one.
And let's not forget the freedom. You control everything. The software, the settings, even the games you play. You're not limited by some platform's walled garden, right?
True, true. But let's be real for a sec. Some people just want to fire up a game and play. They don't want to mess with all the tech stuff.
And that's totally cool. The PS5 Pro is great for that. It just works. Plug it in, grab your controller, you're good to go.
No fuss, no muss. Plus, Sony's got those exclusive games.
Can't forget about those. Some real gems you can't play anywhere else. So yeah, the convenience and curated experience of a console, that's a big plus for a lot of people.
It all comes down to what matters to you, right? Do you want flexibility, customization, the ability to upgrade whenever you want? Or do you prefer convenience, a curated game library, that plug-and-play simplicity?
And of course, there's the budget. We showed you could build a beast of a PC for $700. But that doesn't include things like a monitor, keyboard, mouse.
All the extras, and those can add up fast. But hey, maybe this has inspired you to give PC building a shot. It's a lot of fun, and there's a great community out there to help you along the way.
Absolutely. No matter if you're a PC veteran or a console gamer just dipping your toes in the water, there's never been a better time to be a gamer.
Preach. The technology is just moving so fast. Who knows what the future holds, right? Maybe we'll see PC and console gaming merge into one.
Or maybe cloud gaming will come in and change everything.
Mind-blowing stuff. But that's all the time we have for today. We've gone through the specs, the performance, the pros and cons.
At the end of the day, the best gaming platform is the one that's right for you.
Could have said it better myself. So go out there, find your perfect platform, and get your game on.